Okay, guys, sorry, we were a little bit late. We had some technical issues, but here I am with Bloom, CEO of Akasha Rising, of course, and Bloomverse. We're going to talk about Akasha's World Builder. Bloom, happy to have you here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Happy to be here. And yeah, it's pretty late. Sorry, but yeah, that was my fault. A lot of technical difficulties. I came to the office to find the computer completely turned off, so had to deal with that. Won't go into the story since we're already late. But yeah, thanks for having me, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, well, I'm excited as well because you're going to show us some great stuff today, which we were waiting for a long time already. I've been talking about Akasha maybe going into gaming for about a year, maybe. So I'm really excited for this. Akasha started as an AGI project, and now she just decided to do this to go into world building. How did that go, man?
Well, it kind of ties back to the origin of the Bloom ecosystem. You say, oh, for like a year, we've been at it for years, also, right? Almost five, well, like 4 years now. It's actually just 4 years that we actually, um, almost 4 years that we've actually been working on the tech. But it was a very ironic story. It now is because it started as an idea in the lore of an AI coming from the future, right? That was the lore of the Bloomberg ecosystem, and AI coming back through the Solana blockchain from the future and delivering this white paper about online shopping and real money gaming and betting and metaverse world building and decentralized finance, AI, all coming together. And that in the future there was this dystopic future where humanity had been um, enslaved by robots and stuff. We made a little trailer, etc. And the trailer's there, 2022. So um, and that she came back to help us from that, and it's through education in this game. That was the idea. And people would tell me, well, that's a very ambitious project, man, to try and build a game like that where you can do online shopping and brands and people can have their own game in the lobby. Like you walk the lobby and you walk in and it's a different game every time. I said, well, yeah, but in Web3 right now, that was still in the bull run back then. There's so much fun and so many games getting created, right? So you do this, call an ICO, etc., and you can do it. So that's what I told myself. But that's when the bear market started. Like I started talking about this right at the dip, right?
Yeah.
And then, so from there it was years, right? And well, nobody was getting funded or anything like that, especially for such an ambitious project that has never been proven. um, so we just continued building little by little, like accumulating patents on smart contracts and stuff like that, building part of the lobby, getting the multiplayer system going. Back then, you needed to code games manually, right? Even we say back then, but that was 8 months ago. People had to pretty much
Crazy,
code
yeah.
things manually, right? Um, so then the AI meta starts. I'm not going to go through year by year, but the AI meta starts. And I say, man, this is actually all been talking about and doing. We already have AI inside the lobby. People talk to LLM models. We know how to train them. We know so much about what people are talking about, which is AI and AI agents. We're going to bring to life one of our own, Akasha, the one that comes back from the future. It's time to bring her to life. So we'll show them how like a real AI agent should speak, right? So we made like a Akasha game, a separate little Akasha game that could load on everyone's computer, a landing page, and we brought her to life and we put her out there. Like all those agents that you would see. Well, I won't go deep into Akasha because you know her. There were like over 1,800 people talking to her. It's still her right now, even more advanced. And everybody would ask us, what does the agentic workflow do, right? And back, it's funny because I feel like many times we're a step ahead. We kept saying, well, it's not about what she does, it's the emotional connection of her having so much memory and her being able to talk to you like she does, and her being able to know who you are while she knows who the other holders are, while she knows what the company is, while she knows what day it is. People were like, well, yeah, but what does she do though? And now everyone's seeing that they all do the same thing, and they're all growing, right? LLMs. but it's a matter of how much context can they retain and how much can you keep a connection with them. So what now that we're going a step ahead and coding is so advanced through AI. We were like, okay, you know what? People can build the Bloombergs themselves. Like we have so many use cases for the games now. Let's just have people talk to Akasha and she can build a game. I'll let you. I have one more thing to say, but I feel like I'm rambling now because you asked me for the
Well,
story.
that's okay, man. I asked you on. I'm just the
Okay,
host, so it's
okay.
okay.
So one of the things that I miss from that I think we missed the mark in the previous AI meta is that it's important in Web3, important in general for your project to be a sort of replicator, not just good for the company and not just good for a token, etc., but good for other people to do something on it so they can also do their own thing, right? Either if it's launch a token or sell something or create a collectible, create a little community, bring their own NFT project to life or their own Discord group to life somehow. Um, Virtuals did that. Pump Fund does that. Pump Fund, it's not about their token, it's about people launching tokens all day. So that's what we wanted to change. We're like, okay, if Akasha can make a game for you, now you can either sell your products through that little game, or you can launch a token from inside the platform, or you can sell the game, or you can make it a betting game, like whatever you want, but let people be creative with her. And then it's not about not just about what is the Bloom ecosystem and what am I coming up with next. It's what's everybody coming up with. You can all do it, right?
So is it
So
like a
that's
metaverse?
well, funny you asked that because I what I always noticed back then when people were talking about metaverse is that everybody had a different definition. And then the word almost became taboo, right? Because of the bear market, nobody even uses it anymore. I don't really use it. But so I don't like to call it that because the word is not trendy. You need to go with the trend. But the reality is that people never even really defined it. Everybody was building a metaverse, and that was never what it was to me. For me, metaverse just meant like a new virtual way to a new way to approach the internet, right? Somewhere where the internet started blending in with being a physical space, and you could almost walk through the internet. So everything is a metaverse, right? Even deck screener could be part of the metaverse one day if you're just gonna check the token and this is another thing that I've always been saying for the past 2 years. I don't think VR and those big headsets are gonna be the future anytime soon, but I do think we're gonna have glasses and headphones with glasses, etc., that kind of enhance what you're looking at, and you can move, charts, and maybe you can move a game, and then you can bring down the YouTube video. They're very clunky still right now, but we're starting to see those types of glasses. So I think that we're gonna get to that point, and I guess at that point you could call what we're doing part of the metaverse. But it's not like I'm trying to build or Akasha's trying to build the metaverse or a metaverse right now. I just think that metaverse is a way to describe the imminent type of internet that's coming.
So if people are going to build a game, for instance, yeah, with the Akasha World Builder, are they going to? Is there going to be a platform where that game is like distributed for them, or can they choose to not do it through Akasha, or is it like a virtual world where you walk and go to that game, or how can I see this?
Yeah, that's. I'll show it to you right now. That'll be exciting. But
Great.
yes, the distribution is very important. That's something that we thought of, right? That's why we're leveraging with Pump Fund, so people can launch tokens from there. And there's a lot of PvP going on, and people say that the trenches are dead. The market, I don't know what happened today, but yeah, there's a lot of people trying to see how can they legitimize a token on pump fund so it runs more than others, and that's always been, from my perspective, well, how much effort is behind it, who's really behind it, why is this one better than the trail to crypto token, and let's say six people launch it at the same time. well, which one's the real one? Why should we all go with one? And I think this would be an opportunity. Well, this has a game. Like, what if Punch had made, somebody had taken the time to make a game, or Pengu, etc. And yes, people. So you have the platform. You'll be able to go there and see all the games, choose which one you want to play, or choose which one you're going to create. Once you create it, you can keep it private and keep working on it, or you can publish it online with your own link. Let's say it would be Akasha Bloomberg slash Trail to Crypto, right? That's your
Mhm.
game.
Yeah.
And then you can deploy that on your Telegram group, on your Discord group. You know, at some point, we might be able to deploy to things like Steam. One day, even like PlayStation. The games don't look like a PlayStation game right now,
Hmm.
but we're taking a very different approach than other people. Everything you see all day about these vibe coded games on the timeline, they are actually vibe coded. And what does that mean? It means that if you want to do changes, you need to regenerate the code, right? Let's say you have a really cool looking game, and then you say, well, you know what? I don't like that the character spawns on top of this place, and I wish that it were a mermaid instead of a penguin. And you say that, hey, I want it to be a mermaid instead of a penguin, and I want her to spawn down here at a castle. So when you're vibe coding, the LLMs don't remember all the code. They don't have it all organized in folders and stuff like that and commits. They just regenerate almost the whole thing. So then suddenly you have a different world. Now you have the mermaid, and now you have the different spawn point, but maybe the whole top changed. And if you tell it, hey, remember how it was before? They don't remember. So we took a different approach, which is config. What the AI workflow does is, like Legos, it organizes configuration files that are already predetermined. And I won't go much into that so I don't get, because we always get copied, and I want to show you the game. But
Yeah.
the point is that at some point, platforms like Steam, etc., they ask you for a lot of compliance. It has to be a serious game that's through deterministic set things, and we're going to be able to do that. So yeah, well, when
So
you said
actually,
that,
someone is building a game through Akasha's World Builder, and they can just launch it on Steam. That's what you're saying.
let's not say that yet, but let's say that the architecture that we're doing is in that direction,
Wow,
towards that technical direction. Yeah,
that's great. Well, maybe it's time that we show something. Yeah, that everybody knows what we're talking about. Uh,
yeah, for sure.
I think if we go to this, yeah, I think
Okay, tell me when you see it.
I don't see it yet. Guys, we were just testing this, yeah, before coming live. So and
Yeah,
it worked. No, it's not
you
so
don't see
much
it
working.
now?
I'm trying to. No.
Let me reshare it. Stop sharing. Oh, and you know what? Let me do
Yeah,
it.
I think it comes now.
I did it again because I had to put the share with audio. Here we go.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see it
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Great. So I'll walk you through the whole thing. Here, I didn't want to do it through the web, the browser one. One of the things, we're using Unity, and taking Unity to browser, which I showed you guys on the live stream that we already did. That's also a very delicate pipeline that we have been curating, and I think that's going to be big, even for Unity. As soon as they realize that we could just take so many things, put them on a browser, and then let Akasha create the game at runtime, already running. I won't get into the what that means in technical terms, but it's a breakthrough, right? So anyway, we didn't want to make our own game engine. Some people are doing that. It's like making your own launch pad. It's a whole different game, right? We're not doing that. What we want is people to be able to create their own game, or a company, or an NFT collection, or whatever community, a casino. That's what matters, that it's easy to create a game. So you start here in the temple with Akasha. And this is a people can just stay here and talk to her all day if they want. Hey, Kasha, are you there? It's Bloom One. The I didn't test this, so just so let's see.
I don't know how to.
Well, let me try again. Hey, Akasha, are you there? Pretty sure I.
I don't know how to.
Oh, okay. Well, give me 1 second. Sometimes the open router, which is what she does we use to connect to Akasha, it runs out of money because the trading agent that you also know, I don't know, we're gonna talk about that, probably not, but the other service that we have, it's so expensive that it just eats the tokens, and I try to add money little by little because there's so much hacking and theft of API keys that it's really dangerous to put like unlimited amount or $10,000 in an API key nowadays, and then somebody from. Hey, Akasha, are you there? It's Bloom One.
I'm always here.
And that's all you're talking about
Whenever you're ready
the
for
graphics.
next.
Oh, no, I hear myself. Okay. So you about the graphics, and that's later on, yeah?
I can't really hear you because of the. Let me lower her volume, or you can speak a little louder. Can you hear her? Can you hear the game?
I can hear the game. Yeah.
Okay. So there she is now. Um, well, before I go to the creator mode, what was your question? Tell me again.
Well, the question was about the graphics. We're talking about will get updated later on, yeah?
Yeah, well, right now the graphics, I have this like lines in the back, like this vignette, like 80s nostalgia, 90s type of look. That's on purpose. So now you can change the graphics a lot. You just need to think of what's not going to crash someone's computer if it's not a giant computer, because it's different when you download a game than when you play it on web. So we're going to use web GPU, and we're always right at the border of how good can this look without crashing somebody's browser, Chrome, Brave, whatever. So for Akasha here, this is kind of where we're at right now. That's what was your question, and we're going to upgrade the graphics later?
Yeah, that was
Yeah. So yeah, for browser, it's not. I'll tell you what is going to change very soon. All of these interfaces, like the UI for you to talk to her, etc., that's not meant to be production, like for people. That's just for me, or like a console right now to be testing. So that's going to change a lot. When it comes to the graphics, we need to start getting feedback from people. Is it crashing their computer or not? And then from there, start making the graphics better without crashing them. Okay, you ready?
Portal opens. Let's create.
So I won't be talking to her a lot since didn't see you ask about that. But here we are. You open the portal. You come here. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still here. Just time I talk and to close my sound. Otherwise, hear myself bubble. I think. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here we are. This is where the magic happens. So you can come up with any prompt, like we were talking about punch, right? So if I say create a dense jungle um, for the punch monkey, I don't know what would happen if I say that, but maybe because she has internet access and everything. So, and now while she builds it, I'll tell you this. Right now, our workflow, the one that we have patented, it's a special way to connect a lot of LLMs together. And in this case, for the world building, we have 6 LLMs as of now working together. Now,
Building
I
a
don't
dense
know
jungle for the
which
punch
of them
monkey.
need to
Thick
be
canopy.
Opus
Tangled vines.
4.6
mossy
and which ones
rocks,
can be sonnet,
and lush tropical
haiku,
flora
way
coming
faster
right up.
models.
Let's get
Before
wild.
I take this online for you guys to test, I'll tweak that, I'll play with that to see which ones we can make sonnet, haiku, and make them faster. Right now, they're all, it's six Opus 4.6 is talking to each other. So it's not super fast. No, it's going to take some seconds here, but that's meant to change. I just don't know which ones I can change. The main one is always going to be Opus 4.6. Others, you delegate to smaller models, but I haven't done that yet because right now my focus is to making sure that it works the way it needs to work, even if I'm using max AI capacity. Then from there, we'll start tweaking what you're saying, speed, better graphics, etc. First thing is to make sure that it's real, that we prove the thesis.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
you're just prompting. Yeah, you don't do anything else. You just prompt. You talk to her, and she does.
Exactly. Exactly. It was create a dense jungle for the punch monkey. No, nothing fancy. Um, and hopefully she shows us here because that's a problem of testing live. That sometimes you're risking. Um,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna prompt it again if it in like a second it doesn't come in.
So she's
And I,
created a world now,
yeah.
and
Oh, there we
when
go.
that starts, how can I like put in what I can do in this world, yeah? Make it a real game.
Yes. So you start here. You can even start with only create a car or create a whatever, right? But if you want to start with more like a little world to start off with, you can say a prompt like the one I said. There's gonna be tutorial, etc. But I said create a dense jungle for the punch monkey to see what she would come up with. Okay, she's giving me a base, right? So I always like to make it look pretty since the beginning. Oh, look, she's putting lights. Wow, she's um, changing the lighting. So did you see how the lighting changed and
Yeah,
she
yeah.
added a road, etc.? All of that. She's not vibe coding a road and lights, etc., which can no longer be generated or used the same way. All of this is modular. So I can just delete this, right? Or I can come over here and say, create another of my selection.
Something that every modular.
Created another leaf carpet near your selection.
All right, and let me retweet because I'm reading the community that the Bloom account. Um, yeah, 1 second. Can you still see Akasha if I change tabs here or no?
Uh, yeah, you no, you can see the game, and
Okay, the game.
I
Perfect.
I'm hearing a lot of people complaining about me echoing. It's a little bit difficult to not echo because if I'm going to talk, I need to hear if it's talking as well, and I'm echoing my sound off. So I'm trying to manage this.
Okay, so let me go. I'll use my phone. Let me go retweet the link. Now we go trail to crypto. Mm-hmm. And we are live. Nice.
So I think like there's no echo, guys. Maybe let me know if there's an echo like this. Okay, so I found the solution. I think now it's all right.
All right, great. And I made the post. Let me make sure it went through. Yeah, I was so busy fixing the computer, it didn't even tell Treats to get ready. Okay, post was sent. Hopefully not with a typo. But anyway, So as I was saying, okay, where were we? Creating that extra. Now I lost it. Let's go.
Yeah,
Well,
well, I actually had a question like, what's the difference between this, the world builder from Akasha, and for instance, well, this is of course a very big project also, but like Project Genie. Is it the modular thing, or do you have more differences?
yes. Well, the let me look. I when you I want to make sure of something before I say something incorrect.
Okay.
Yeah. So how can I put it so I don't rant into the. So look, do you see this background over here?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that
Beautiful.
is more like that's an image that has been made in a way that it has 3D depth. And there's a lot of visual models like Genie. What they're doing is, can I navigate through scenes like that? Can I move through them and the image keeps changing and gives you the perception that you're in a 3D world? That's the approach that some companies are taking. At the end of the day, that's a static image that's changing and regenerating in or generating differently right in front of your eyes. Imagine like a Sedans 2 video. So maybe we'll get to the point where you can do that and you can do it for 2 hours straight, and it's not expensive. And but there, right now that I said that, maybe you can't see all the technical difficulties that come with it, but it's a lot. I mean, I think we're gonna be years from that. This is different, right? Because sure, as you can see, she can do that, right? She can create that image in the back to give you this 3D world perception, but she doesn't have to be changing it. This is what you change the game. And
Yeah.
this is what you can be working on the graphics. And this is all modular, separate. It's not one image that is fooling you into thinking it's a 3D world. It's an actual 3D world. Like, look, I can rotate it. Like, these are actual 3D assets that are separate from each other. So, what do I mean by reskinning? Like this, I can choose to put it wherever. What do I mean by reskinning? I could use technology like Genie, even a Genie API, right? I mean, not right now, but when they get more advanced,
Mhm.
there's others right now to reskin this. Like, let's say I say, no, but make my selection look Egyptian. And then something like Genie, like a world simulator, would reskin only the surface. It would put different clothing on this asset, but the asset is still a real 3D asset. So I could say make the whole map. I could upload an image and say make the whole map look like this, and it would take the style of the image and reskin the whole map. So that those are the capabilities of things like Genie. This is different, so it only ties into it. It would only make us better, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, and I did it that way because everybody, well, I don't know why a lot of people are not catching the memo, but AI is advancing so fast that if you build something to solve one problem, oh, AI, AI agents right now, they're lacking this. So we're going to give it that. Well, they're lacking it right now, but in 6 months, it'll probably be native to your Claude subscription or your GPT subscription. So you really need to build things that scale with the capabilities of AI. So the smarter the AIs get, the more problems you solve and the more things you can do, but it has to be open ended. So anyway, back to what I was saying. There's a lot. You saw when she created this world that the lighting changed and that she
Yeah.
brought these VFX, etc. Those are all different layers, right? Of her having to understand lighting through Unity. How does it work? The different moods. What kind of mood would be good for a jungle, right? What kind of mood would be good for a punch monkey? What is punch monkey? And
And we
then
can
the
change
same
it if
thing.
you want.
Yeah, if I say make a day sunnier. Let's see what she does with that. Okay. So that's blue light. Now if I say add some fog, morning fog,
And in order to create a game myself, yeah, if I want like, for instance, I want a penguin walking around and some adversary, then how would I have to program the adversary to attack the penguin whenever he sees it?
so okay, she did a little bit of fog there. She could have done more, but I could be like give more fog, more fog. But okay, before I get into that, see the important thing here is that when I asked for those two things, she didn't have to regenerate the code, right? Everything that's here is also still here. So that's a very different thing that if you're doing a game for a brand, right? If a brand is making a game or you're making a game and you make a penguin, like you said right now, and you don't like the penguin, you can say, no, another one, or, oh, that's a good point. This is another thing that she can do. For example, you said what? Can you create a what?
Yeah, create a penguin and an adversary. Yeah, you know, an enemy of the penguin, and the
Yeah.
enemy of the penguin will attack the penguin. How does he know it?
So, for example, we're working with Meshi right now, and there's other pipelines that we're refining so that um, you can create your own. Man, so much to talk about, so much to say. But I'll just show you. For example, if you want to generate a 3D asset, you say generate a warrior penguin with a penguin style armor and battle helmet, walking with a sword. Okay. So those it's different, right? Like we have a library of like 60,000 assets that you can choose from, that you'll be able to browse, that you can modify, that we want to reskin, but you can also generate your own 3D models. So as you can see that it takes about 5 minutes. And right now we haven't finished the pipeline where you have the whole animation um, catalog, or if we want
Yeah.
to call it that, that walking, attacking, jumping, crouching. But we will have that. That's something that I wanted to test this week, but I haven't gotten there. Um, so, and another thing before I get to your question about the mechanics, is that, for example, this 3D model that I'm about to generate right now, it will be tied to my account in my wallet. So I can also list it, not just my game, but all the assets that I made for the game. Let's say you generated 25 assets from scratch. You spent that time prompting and making sure you like them. Now other people can see them and they can pay you royalties to use them in their game, right? So let's say you created a really popular penguin and someone wants a game where that penguin's in there. Well, they're going to have to pay you with AKA, and now they can use it in the game. So people can be creating games or just assets or just audio effects. Like everything is meant to be modular and monetizable, tokenizable, right? You being able to,
And the
as a
payment will
creator,
always be an AKA.
the what? Oh yeah, yeah. The if it always that's going to be an AKA. Yeah, the ecosystem is built to be around AKA so that there's always volume and movement around the token, and yeah, that's the main thing. Very important.
Amazing.
If we when we get to more like Web 2 type of stuff, we could see how to do it in the back. So the idea is that people can use their credit card or debit card, but they're still buying AKA to get the credits. So anyway,
Great. Yeah.
now
So it's funneled through AKA. So AKA gets the volume.
yes, and now and it's a way different price if you're an AKA holder than if you're not. So that also incentivizes to bring more people into the community. Because if you have a relationship with Akasha and you're an AKA holder, the credits are less expensive. It will just say become an Akashan, something like that. But in the background, what it really means is that you're an AKA holder. Now, there's other tokenomics that I'm not going to get into because we're still refining, but we'll give the penguin some time to generate while we play around with normal assets
Will we
for
be
what.
making like a marketplace for it? Yeah, so an in-game marketplace, but also maybe a marketplace where you could like make NFTs out of your own game and sell them to people.
Yes. Right now, I haven't seen the necessity to actually make it an NFT. An NFT, what would that mean? That it has a like a digital online twin on the blockchain to prove ownership, and once you sell it, somebody else can prove ownership. We want to do that, but it's not really necessary right now and for the testing. But yes, the idea is that if you create your game, you can sell the whole game to somebody else. If it has a token, you can sell the ownership of the token through Pump Fund. We're using the Pump Fund SDK, so there's a lot of stuff that you can do with it. You can do it that your game can only be played by people that have staked their token, or maybe you get a different type of armor or different points if you have stake tokens. And I'm not talking about it just AKA, but whatever token you launch through your game, right? So yes, all that's also meant to be modular and separate. Now let's
Yeah,
do a little
so
bit of.
even if they have their own token, it's still AKA that needs to be paid with.
Yes, yeah. AKA is the token of the engine, so to speak, and then from there people can launch as many tokens as they want.
Right.
Now, is that the success of those tokens going to be tied to AKA? Do AKA holders get an allocation of those tokens? That will reveal later once the tokenomics are finalized. But yes, the idea is that AKA, the core is AKA, but we also want to let people and projects tokenize themselves.
And could I, for instance, AI Gent, yes, is another project you guys made. I really love that project as well. Could I, for instance, make a game and have AI Gent like involved in the game somewhere like that?
Yes, we haven't. That pipeline is built. We haven't tested it, but you can make the NPCs. You'll be able to make the NPCs here. Like if I say, create an orc. Where is he? Here it is. So here, the oh, you would be able to, let's say, assign a behavior and a personality and everything to this org. If it's something that someone that people need to come talk to it or something, and you want to hook up a little model, right, like a GPT Turbo or something like that, that's not expensive, you could do it, or any model, right? But people are paying for all this compute. So that's the thing. As you're prompting and as you're doing all of this, you can make the game as complex and expensive as you can, but you're paying with credits, and the credits you get them with AKA. So if the NPC is a model, you need to keep paying for those credits as people talk to it. So we would have the pipeline for that. Something we haven't gotten into, we're not there yet, is connecting the animation so Akasha can correctly animate them, right? I mean, the architecture is there, but it's hit and miss. So we haven't perfected it. Now she does understand behaviors, right? Like you were saying, like let's say I say create a vampire, and by the way, I can use all of this. I can do it through voice. It's way easier on browser than on Unity. But the idea is that you can just be talking to her. Not You don't even have to type if you don't want to.
So, and with Akasha's capabilities evolving, the NPCs in the game will evolve as well then.
Well, the NPCs in the game depend on what LLM you assign to them. They're separate from Akasha. So if you want your NPC to be powered by Opus 4.6, well, yeah, it's going to be a really advanced one. It's just going to be a little bit more expensive whenever somebody says hi to it, right?
Mm,
But if it's maybe like a storytelling NPC that knows all the rules and can guide you through a tutorial, well, yeah, maybe you want a larger model, but they can be whatever model you want.
great.
What scales with Akasha is the capacity of LLMs to be able to configure all of this and one shot it, right? As you can see right now, I was going to play with that. You get this idea of a game, and then you start thinking, like, okay, I don't want this light effect here. Maybe I want it over here. And maybe I don't want any trees on the trail. I don't want this one here. Maybe you can think, okay, this tree is not like a jungle style, so I don't want it. You can do whatever. But as LLMs get smarter and smarter, then they'll be able to configure things more perfectly. I already have an idea of how to make every day I'm making it better. But point was over here, make the vampire patrol. And then I say, make the orc follow the vampire. Hmm. Okay, now if I go to play mode, let me see if I can see
You could
them.
choose there which view you have. Yeah, third person. I saw there very
Yes.
quickly.
Yeah, the idea. Yeah, I'll show you that again. And right now I don't have a character. That's why. See, so now you see the orc over there. Oh, let me see if I don't get stuck here. Okay.
Yeah.
Where's the vampire? Over there. Okay, so I don't know if it's gonna detect it from far away, because it's proximity based, but it's patrolling and looking for the vampire. The vampire's over there. So you could say, okay, when orcs touch vampires, they die, or you lose health, like whatever mechanics you start doing, audio effects, right? So much stuff that you can do, man. And once we get through the animation,
And could you
which would
set
be,
difficulties in it, or is that up to the LLM you assign to it?
well, right now it's very customizable. So when you say difficulty, like if I go out here and I say, give the orc more speed, right? If I say make orc move 4x faster. See, and she kind of understands the context of what you're doing. Right now, we're saying random stuff, but she's saying that vampire better watch its back. And she kind of understands that we're making, the orc chase the vampire, etc. But I changed that behavior without having to regenerate any of the other stuff or messing with the background. There could be other characters, other rules. So this is deterministic config, that you don't have to worry that what you have been working on for weeks is going to be ruined, by regeneration of vibe coding, right? So maybe you just want to create a game in 2 hours and launch it and create tokens. You want to launch 10 tokens a day. That's fine. But if you start building like a serious game with levels and scene transitions and stuff, you want to be sure that the game is what you are building is what's going to be there the next morning, right? And if that you add another level or more buildings or more rules, is not going to get messed up just because you added a new rule. So that's our vision, right? That's what we're building, which is very different than what other people are doing. So yeah, like you were saying, all of this doesn't look great because I'm just using it to test. Um, but yes, you can choose what type of game, first person shooter, third person, or a MOBA perspective. Haven't tested this one in a while. Okay, it works. It's just a little slow. Okay, so you see the orc moving way faster now.
Yeah.
So that way you could make waves, and let's say you could say that the wave increases speed 2x every wave, right? So if you're defending against waves of orcs or whatever, then they would come out faster and faster. So you could say increase the difficulty and leave it up to the LLM to do whatever, but you know how that goes. You just not need to be careful.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think this will replace original gaming studios in X years?
In X years, yes. Right now, a lot of people are building tools for game studios and tools for game creators, and I think that's important. That's a route that we didn't take. We're going more on the side of regular casual people creating casual games, and they're not going to look AAA for a while. But at the end of the day, what we're teaching Akasha to do here is to use Unity like a professional. You talk to her, and she uses Unity like a professional. So as LLMs get better, Unity has tens of thousands of little things to do with the lighting, with the texture, etc. Right now, it's still difficult, right, for an LLM to do all that very correctly,
Yeah.
or to know all the tools. But as LLMs evolve, like Opus 8, is going to be able to do that so well that, yeah, eventually, that's why I was saying eventually you'll be able to use this pipeline to publish games, through Steam, Epic, maybe PlayStation. I'm not saying that you're going to be able to create a PlayStation game in 10 minutes and they're going to let you deploy it, but in a few years you are going to be able, as someone that has no coding or engineering experience, just an idea, create a game that has the quality and the qualifications and the compliance pipeline necessary to apply to get deployed into PlayStation. And the AIs are going to make sure, because it's config. They already know in that pipeline what does PlayStation need, what works, what doesn't, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, very different than thinking that people are going to be able to vibe code a PlayStation game in a few years. I don't think that's going to be possible because we still have not solved context windows. Here, you don't depend on the context window so much because you're going step by step. You see what I mean?
Yeah. So what do you mean with context windows?
So when you're talking to an AI agent, I don't know if you've noticed that after a while they start kind of forgetting what you're talking about. They kind of remember, but in the middle, a lot of stuff in the middle they forget. And let's say you gave them a rule. You tell them never, um mm, never, what's something that they do? You know how they use a little hash?
Yeah.
Um So you tell them never use hashes when you talk to me because I hate them. Okay. And you can be talking, depending on the model, you can be talking to it for a while. Eventually, the model's going to use them again. And
Yeah.
you're going to be like, hey, didn't I tell you not to do that? Oh, right. Yeah, my bad. And then they just continue. And again, they're not going to do it for a while. But they can't remember absolutely everything all the time when the context window bloats. And eventually, they need to compact the conversation, or they clear everything and they just remember some what they think is a key point. So in conversations and stuff like that, it doesn't matter if you're using an open claw. You can just tell it, hey, go read the we're about to go live on stream. Go read the stream rules, right? It has it separate. Okay, and it reads it and everything's good. When you're vibe coding, when you're creating an app, when you're creating a game, you can ask for something that's going to be so much code that somewhere while it's doing it, it's going to need to forget what it did before so that it can keep going. So let's say you told it, hey, always, um, you like this road, and you say, always use this road. Okay. And then you're 4 days into it, and you say, you know what? I want the Perlin to be a desert, right? I want the ground to be a desert, add mountains, and then suddenly the road that's your favorite disappears. And you're like, hey, the road that I told you that I liked, what was it? And it's like, oh, I'm sorry. And it brings back another road, different again. No, no,
Mm.
no. The one we had, please remember, it's lost in context. It's gone forever.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And there's so many little details that you need to remember. Like if you look at my context folders, man, I have probably 80 files of context that I need to remember when to remind the Claude code or whatever to use it. I can't rely on AI right now remembering by itself. I need to be on top of it. So it's still very difficult. And what we're doing here is making it easy for people, making it so you don't need to know anything that I just said. You don't need to know it. You don't need to understand it. You don't need to know how it's working or why it's working. All you need to know is that you wanted to make a game for your store. You wanted people to be able to click on it and buy your hoodie from an NPC inside the game. You wanted it to be a link on the internet that works, and you did it in 3 hours. Now you have the Abercrombie game. You see what I mean?
Yeah, great. And Akasha will help you with all the technical things that you need for that as well.
Yes. This is Akasha, by the way, this pink orb right here. So I haven't tested this, but she is very smart in that sense. If I say, like, what is this game lacking? And like rules, game design style, any suggestions? Let's see what she says. This is a challenge question. Nobody does this, by the way, testing stuff that they didn't script and think about before live stream, but I like to do it. Sometimes it makes me look like a fool, but it's part of the game.
Well, I think it's the fun of this live stream. Yeah, it's like we're seeing things that we've never seen before now. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
what do
Okay.
you think?
Maybe we
Could someone make a lot of money with doing a game through Akasha now?
no, it didn't work. Any suggestions for game mechanics here? See, I'm not kidding that sometimes I just test things out of nowhere to pressure test things, just test the universe. But let me see. One more try.
So while we're waiting for that, what do you
Oh,
think?
you can't hear her?
No, yeah, I cannot because I've put off the sound because of the echo. You guys
Oh
can
yeah,
hear
she
her.
was talking. She's talking.
Okay, good. So I thought I let's fill the silence, but she's talking. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so she said stuff like what you're missing right now. It's about you that I don't think people heard because you were talking about. It says like a timer, win lose condition. There's no goal yet. Lives or health system, score tracking, collectibles, enemy chase behavior, combat rules. What happens when enemies touch you? Treasure explorer. So yeah, she knows what the Ectolysis model is. You guys, yeah, it's a lot of stuff. And now, by the way, let's come look at our penguin. That
Ah,
took a
there's my
while.
penguin, man.
Yeah, the meshy, uh, the meshy lighting I'm working with. That's why I didn't go to GDC. I wanted to talk to them, but see, really got to make the light touch him so you shine on them. But see that this is a brand new generated 3D asset that you could have on your store right now, and everybody could pay you to use it. So you could just be on here making 50 different characters. You can make a whole collection. You can make everyone on Solana. You can make every DGod. You can make every Pudgy Penguin. You can make it for you see what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the so anyway, and then if I say make this penguin, make my selection the player. Okay, now scatter 10 collectibles around the map. Um, each one gives me a point. At 3 points, you win. No need to fill the silence. Just give her a second. Okay. All right. So what you just saw right now is part of what you're saying. What we've been talking about. Very different from vibe coding. The map was already there. The lighting was already there. Then we made this penguin. Now we added rules. Now we're gonna test them. At no point has she had to regenerate the whole thing. You can load it, save it, come back to it. You see that is very, very different than that's config over code. And how can I put it? When you
Can
say
we?
in the coming years, the LLMs, Akasha being so good at config and so good at Unity that she's going to be able to output complete, almost AAA looking games through this method, that is more likely than Genie being able to create a game that is playable for everybody, the same for everybody, and keeps growing and has different levels and worlds. And if they do it, it's going to be very expensive. It's going to be one game that they're demoing for people, not you being able to do it. Um, but yeah,
So you're
that's
saying actually because at Genie they are saying like they need like 7 or 8 months before they can create a playable game. You're saying that's not going to work.
They can create a playable game, but they're not going to be able to modify it, right? To modify it as many times as they want, add expansions, add a new scene transition. It's like you make it and you. I'll give you an example. Have you ever created a video? I'm sure you've created AI videos, and
Mhm.
sometimes you really like a video, but then maybe you didn't like a detail. There's something on a table that you don't like, and you say, do it again, but without that cup on the table. And it just gives you something else. Okay, the cup is no longer there, but now the fingers are wrong. Okay, the cup is not there, but the fingers are wrong. Do it again. And now the cup is not there, and now the fingers are right again, but now the whole color changed. And
Yeah.
you see, you just start going down this rabbit hole of regenerations, and you just sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's not deterministic. It's not configuration. It's code regenerating itself over and over, so you don't have that problem here.
Even
That
nowadays, if I make like an image or something, I'm just saying, okay, fuck it, let's start all over. Make a new screen and just start all over because it's not working if you just want to change something. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So here we're dividing everything in steps. So the work that we're doing is harder, but it's definitely worth it in the long run. Now let's look for some of these collectibles. We're using the penguin, as you can see. I don't know where I should have seen where we put them. Now there's the original penguin, because now that this is like the meshy original one that you own, and now you can replicate it. You can make as many penguins as you want now. One without having to wait for the 5 minutes, right? Three, okay. And there's a win state, right? So that's another thing. It's all separate, and she understands all of it.
Do you have
Mm,
something finished, like a game that you finished that you think, well, this is really playable that you can show us now?
No, no. What I'm planning to do is because there's just so much stuff that I want to finish. For example, well, doesn't matter. Many things that I want to polish, and then I want to do a live stream, and I want to create like 5 of those with their token through browser, and people seeing live that the tokens are getting launched on Pump
Oh
Fund.
yeah, great
So
idea.
that's my next task.
Great. So that's why you went from the old pump fund contract to the new one, yeah?
Yes, yeah, because If you see the new pump fund contract, you can even split the creator rewards, etc., with up to 10, 20 wallets. That's one type of use case. So maybe five people are working on a game, and they're all partners, and they're all getting part of the creator fee. So the five wallets are owners, so the five wallets can log on and modify the game.
Yeah.
You see stuff like that, that's going to be very, very versatile.
Yeah, that's a nice thing about the new pump phone contract. I actually have something myself like that, like one token based bot. I don't know if you know it. It's nothing now anymore. But when these guys started, I invested a little bit in it, and then they just put my wallet in there as well. And you just get a little bit of the creator fee. So that's actually
Yeah.
great.
Let's try another scene. Let's try like a different mood. Risking it, most people would just want to show one thing and that's it. It worked, but okay, let's see. Create a cyberpunk. Should we do that? Or yeah, we can try it. City. Well, okay. Yeah. Let's give her a little bit of time. Well, do you have more questions?
Well, actually, we are nearing the end time, so I'm just
Okay.
looking like what can you show me? What do you want to show us still? Because there's so much in your head. I think.
Yeah, there is. I think I'll show you some sound effects. Just that's on. We're connected to many APIs. So if you're creating songs, if you're creating sound effects, maybe you create a really fart sound that went viral, then you can also sell that so other people use it in their game. Like you can be getting royalties of other from everything that you come up with. So that's also an interesting part. Here,
And you're doing a
while she
hackathon right now, yeah?
yeah, we're in the Pump Fund Hackathon, so we're excited about that. We really think we want to bring value back to the Pump Fund ecosystem. So that's why I thought that's why we went with the route of her being able to use the Pump Fund SDK in all the different creative ways that she can, and people being able to launch their token on Pump Fund through the platform. Right, so they just say, "Oh, I want to create a token," and then they create their game, and they can say, "Okay, I want to charge. No, I want to charge with credit card. No, I want to charge with this token. No, only holders can play it. Like all of that can be done. Or let's split the creator rewards between these three wallets. All of that, you're going to be able to do it through here using the Pump Fund SDK. So, let's say that we win the hackathon. I'm not saying I'm going to do this, but just teasing it. Let's say we win the hackathon and we give $50 to the first 1,000 people that create a game on the platform. Now you have potentially 1,000 tokens being launched, and you really only need five of those to run, right? And now you have way more volume on Pump Fund, and you have a lot of games that people are testing, and you have 5 mega runners, and it was all possible through Akasha for people that don't even need to learn how to use Pump Fund, right? They can just do it through here. They don't need to learn how to use 3GS. They don't need to learn how to use Claude Code. None of that. It's you're just talking to her.
Crazy. Yeah. So you're actually becoming like a launch platform, yeah?
Well, yeah, the platform is still Pump Fund, but we're like the middleman for that, so we just make it easier for you. Like if you want to add a video, oh, we said Grok. Let me do a Grok thing here so that maybe a clip we can clip later. Okay, so this is more of an idea of a cyberpunk city. Just let her finish. She's adding more stuff.
Yeah, I saw in another post you did that you had Grok integrated in the game. Can you really talk to Grok as a player then?
Right now, what I have is Grok Imagine. We only use Grok for Imagine right now.
Okay.
So if we go over here and I say, something like create a giant, create a billboard. Oh, okay, the atmosphere. That's another. That's blockade. We have so many bars like blockade, 11 Labs, Grok Imagine, Anthropic. She uses so many things. She's connected to so many things. Billboard with a retro wave nostalgic soundtrack for oh, you guys were saying Blade Runner, right? Oh, but sometimes when you say words like that, 11 Labs doesn't like it. For a dystopian, lonely future vibe video game. I moved the floor by mistake. This is what we're. Okay, there's the soundtrack. And now create a video. Hmm. Create a video of a cyberpunk cyborg um princess saying goodbye and telling people she hopes they enjoyed the stream. I just remember of the other guest that you had, right? So let's try to replicate her a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, great.
Icelandic look, long blonde hair. Uh,
So we're going to
cheery
replicate
attitude.
Brienne Fry. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna work, right? But
Well, that's nice. She'll be the first KOL in the game. Done. Oh no,
all
I saw
right. Yeah.
Mert. Yeah.
Well, also Ashley. I've shown Ashley here.
Ashley
I'll show
also.
you.
Okay. And I saw you made Mert as well. Yeah.
No, that was just some bald guy that looked like him. But Ashley is actually. Oh, I'm gonna have to say that one again. But let's say video on my selection of an Icelandic influencer cyborg part human, long blonde hair, saying goodbye. Wait, let me check over here. What's happening? Oh, no, okay, that's not the problem. Something stopped her right now. It might be that the trading when the trade right now we haven't separated the API keys, and when the trading agent is working, sometimes it messes with this, which is weird. Long blonde hair saying goodbye and wishing people like the stream.
How long do you think it will take before people can make games through this world builder and sell them actually on Steam, for instance?
Well, you added that the trick thing at the end. Steam, I think it'll take like at least a year. But to people to create games and sell them, we're talking about hopefully a month and this well a couple of weeks, a month.
Wow.
It all comes down to how perfect do I want it to be before we release it. um So you could do it right now, right? The what I showed and what I'm going to do on stream the in a few days. I just want it to be good enough so that people are happy with their games. And there's a tutorial, and you can browse through the tens of thousands of assets. So yeah, hopefully in a few weeks you'll be able to do that. Time it with a hackathon decision. Maybe prices. We'll see.
Nice. If someone decided to build a game right now, yeah, or when it's finished, how many hours would he like have to put into it to make a simple game?
Well, maybe one. Like, look at what we have already here. Like right now, I could give her rules, right? Dodge this, jump this, explain the win and the lose. You can make it as simple as you want or as complex as you want. So I would say for technically you can do it in minutes, but maybe in a few days you could have like a super advanced game. I don't know if the video worked.
Is there a
Maybe
max on
not.
how big the world can be?
Yes and no. Like it's going to be divided in scenes. So there's a budget cap for what you can do on browser, uh, but that's per scene. So what we're adding as a transition that when you run out of memory budget, it'll tell you time to make another like scene or level. So when people are playing it, okay, maybe it's going to take 5-10 seconds to load. Like let's say you're walking through here, and then suddenly the game stops and you're loading again, and now you can keep going. So that can make it like infinite. But you can't just have it infinite on browser without that.
Hmm, yeah, I understand.
Where's that video? I think it didn't work. I'm not sure why, but you said you were almost. So I don't know if you have more stuff to do. If I should try again, but I don't want to take your time.
No, no, it's not about that. It's more that I think that if a stream becomes too long, people won't rewatch it, because
Okay.
they think it's
Yeah.
too long, man. That's more, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the video, Grok gave back the video, but something happened. I don't know. Maybe because I was looking at it. Who knows? But I mean, we can give it one more try here. But you don't hear the music, but now
Yeah, that's why I'm silent when I shouldn't be silent, and sometimes I'm talking because I'm just trying to see if she's talking or not, but I'm not always getting it.
yeah. Well, she's not talking, but there's a nice little soundtrack in the back. So, oh man, I moved the floor again by mistake. You scale this.
And these soundtracks, are these pre-made soundtracks, or are they like made by the agent on the
They're
spot?
made by the agent, so you can they're in through 11 Labs. So, and we might change that. 11 Labs it's telling me that they have copyright stuff that they need to deal with, so it has to be a commercial license that's a little bit expensive. Hopefully, we go with them. If not, we'll use like an open source one. But the point is that yeah, the songs will be unique to you. Um,
Great.
screen.
And he also remembers the sound and can make variations on it. Is that the idea?
No, no variations. You would have to regenerate it, like we're saying right before, because 11 Labs. Let's say we go with 11 Labs. That's the way they work. They're not config like us. They're
Mm.
just actual code. So if you regenerate a song, it might come out a little better. It might come out totally different. So the exact problem that we're trying to solve with the game, but that's just on music. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Will you make like a possibility to connect games in like a big
Yes,
universe?
that's definitely the idea that this is going to become ultimately Bloomberg's, right? All games, you can go to the Bloomberg's lobby. You guys are getting ahead of yourselves, but yes, definitely. You'll go to the actual Bloom ecosystem, and from there, there'll be like a virtual portal to all the games. They're all going to be connected. They can collab with each other. Um, so, yeah, that is definitely the idea. It's
Great.
step by step, but yeah.
Well, it's going pretty quick. Yeah, if I've been following the progress in the last month, it's really really going very quick.
Yeah, it's going quick, but there's just a lot. It's a lot to wire in the back, a lot to test. And if we were going to launch in a year or something, then sure, I would tell you yes to everything. But because we want to launch so fast, like get this to market and let you guys make your games, etc. We want to do it almost in weeks. Then that's why some things will have to be later.
Yeah, but look, you just said like Steam maybe in a year, and I actually thought that's very quick. Going live on Steam in a year, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know how Web3 is. They pressure us founders so far so much that for us, like a year feels like 10 years. But yeah, it would be quick actually.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is. It has proximity, right? So over here you can't hear it.
Yeah, I can't hear it, of course, but you guys can, yeah?
Yeah, I'll let it run. She's saying, thank you for watching the stream. Hope you enjoyed.
Oh, that's so nice. I'll show Brienne.
So yeah, do you have any final questions?
No, man. Actually, I don't, because my final question would have to be like, when are you going to launch? But you actually already answered that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as soon as possible. As soon
yeah.
as possible.
When does the hackathon end?
I don't know. They're only announcing the winners one by one. Um, Hopefully, we're excited. We hope to win. If we don't win, well, we don't win. That would certainly change a lot of things, right? If we do win, there's way more that we can use to um, get the community excited. Let them use some of those funds to let you guys build your own games, or without having to pay for the credits, etc. Maybe a trial, or for some winners, some contests, or rewards on if you guys are launching tokens. If you get to a certain market cap, you get a reward, like stuff like that. And the mentoring, I think it's a great team, and they're doing so many great things, and they have a very ambitious vision for Pump Fun, and we certainly want to be a part of that. So if they bring us into that ecosystem, I think between the mentorship and the support and the Pump Fun SDK, we can really do great things together. So we'll see.
Well, great. I think that's a great closing note. I'm really happy you were on. I think we saw crazy good things already from Akasha. I think it's only going to get better. I'm really, really excited to see the end product.
Yeah, me too, man. Working on it every day. Hope to show it to you guys very soon.
Thanks for your time, man.